Hello, everyone. Drew here for Drew That Underground, back with Breaking Rocks 47, whatever the hell it is. I lost track of the number at this point, but as you guys see by the thumbnail and everything, oh wait, 47. Fuck, I got it on the screen in front of me. I'm an idiot. But joining me this fine afternoon, my younger brother, Desert Nord. Hey, bro.
Yeah, how y'all doing?
As you guys see by the thumbnail, we're here to talk about Hollywood is collapsing. It's on fire. And Nerdrotic is coming in his pants on his channel. Over it, right?
Yeah, it's an interesting situation for sure.
Yeah. Between millions of dollars or billions of dollars in losses and movie after movie after movie after movie after movie after movie after movie for Disney, and other studios losing money hand over fist, and yet Nintendo, Super Mario Brothers movie, Top Gun Maverick, and a couple movies that just came out recently as well, also making a lot of money as it turns out. Mission Impossible is doing very well. So is The Sound of Freedom and Oppenheimer, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's not all doom and gloom for the movie industry, but actors on strike, writers on strike, no new stuff coming anytime soon, right?
Well, I mean, yeah, with everybody on strike, the productivity shuts down. So the only thing you're going to see is things that were pretty far along in production already. That's like the main thing now. Whatever was already in the works, there's going to be a major gap. There's going to be a major gap in films in the next 2 years, where almost nothing is going to be getting produced. With the side of a handful of like indie films and small budget productions, the larger productions and the high budget stuff and the blockbuster production is really kind of halted, right? It's going to take a while for it to come around again. And that's assuming they actually break the strike.
Break the strike. Why does
you know what I mean, though? Like,
why does that sound like bowling to me?
Oh, that's because that is bowling terminology. But what I mean is they have to negotiate with the unions to get the writers and the production people back on staff working again. Nord, it's a bit of a crisis for them.
Yeah, right? I don't see this resolving itself anytime soon with people like Bob Iger saying, "I hope you strike yourself into the poorhouse," type of shit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he wasn't really helping himself with that one.
But then again, it's Bob Iger. What do you expect from that asshole?
Now, granted, there's an element of truth to the matter that if you're going to start a strike, you have to understand that you can end up causing more harm to yourself than you intended. That's just sort of obvious. Basic logic would tell you that you're not going to get paid, you're not going to have work until you would come to the table and negotiate what you want to be paid for your work and come to an agreement on what your compensation is. So until all that happens, yeah, they are hurting themselves, yes, but they're attempting at the same time. It's very much a double-edged sword for union strikes. It always was.
Mm-hmm. So,
But yeah, it leads to Hollywood not having much production at a time when they desperately need something. If they're going to keep, the freaking doors open, a lot of these studios to give, they need some source of positive reviews or, big because if they don't have it, then eventually they run out and then they're not producing, they're not making anything, and it's desolation at that point. And then you see things like shuttered theaters and and a whole 3-month periods without anything major coming out. That's what we're gonna see. So
kind
get ready.
kind of like 2020 and 2021, but for different reasons.
Yeah, well, yeah, everybody was aware of why that happened,
Mm-hmm.
and that, in a sense, kind of was very facilitated by everyone anyway. So I don't think too many people were against what was seen as like, okay, let's try not to be foolish. At a certain level, let's try not to be foolish. Let's not put ourselves at risk if we don't have to. But on the other hand, the production part of it, that part, it in some case, but in the main circles of Hollywood, yeah, they said, and that's kind of where they're at again. And they really cannot afford it. They cannot afford to be doing what they're doing, but they're doing it anyway. So
yeah,
we're going to see how much of a crater is left behind when all of the dust settles.
Well, between the strike, get woke, go broke, nonsense of Hollywood, and everything that has happened is since what 2012 for Hollywood.
Yeah, and depressed movie theater attendance is the other thing. Like, it isn't just movies that people are not liking. It's actually people are actually not going to theaters as much as they used to.
Yeah.
Due to streaming reasons and social reasons.
And also the fact that Mel Gibson exposing Hollywood for the child trafficking business that Hollywood is apparently so fond of.
Sure.
At this point.
For Hollywood itself, the average American right now.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't help their chances.
No, it doesn't.
Not that any of us are pulling for them, because frankly, I just have no use for it.
I haven't given a shit about mainstream anything for a long time, hence why you usually see things on this channel like reactions to Tom McDonald, Dax. The only mainstream anything recently has been me reacting to Jason Aldean's Try That in a Small Town. Otherwise, mostly is independent stuff that we do. Like John Rich, who's now independent as well.
We do acknowledge, when things are good, and it's not so much as like anything mainstream we hate. It's not or at least not for me anyway. It's not that something's mainstream and I hate it.
Well, it's increasingly getting to that point at this rate.
Well, it's not the way I function anyway. I mean, for me, it's not about, it's mainstream, but therefore I hate it. For me, it's like I already know the intentions of most of the mainstream of Hollywood. The intentions of the mainstream of Hollywood is to push a woke leftist message. It is to make the audience have to feel bad about them. That's their whole, MO basically. And that part I just have no use for. That shit is stupid to me.
Mm-hmm.
And I applaud when films that are like that don't succeed, because it doesn't help society when you get lectured to by a bunch of hypocrites, because that is what Hollywood is.
Quite. So, with that all in mind, do you want to talk about Oppenheimer?
Yeah, I was rather excited for this one to come out. I still haven't gotten the chance to see it, but I have watched reviews of it, and I do. I already know most of the plot. I already know the whole story practically.
We both
Um,
know the story because we both are a big fan of studying history. So,
Sure, and then for one example, in I believe it was middle school for me. Yeah, middle school history. I was actually tasked with playing the role of J. Robert Oppenheimer in the class debate over the use of the nuclear weapons
mm,
in Japan. So I do have the thoughts, actions, and opinions of the man in question. So yeah, so it's kind of like it was kind of right up my alley, I guess you could say.
mm-hmm.
And as it turns out, it's a pretty damn good film. I mean, it's the pacing's weird, and it's Christopher Nolan with his style of filmmaking is always
Yeah.
awkward.
Mm-hmm.
But it really kind of does a good job, I think, in general. It's it's a worthwhile addition to, like, if you had a library at home of historical dramas that were pretty much accurate and kind of like just you want to put together like a master collection, this one would belong in your master collection because it's a good addition.
Yes, it is.
And it's a very important story. In fact, it's been one of the, I mean, well, what can we say about nuclear weapons and the 21st century? One of the most world-changing things that we've seen.
Mm-hmm.
And it's become sort of a almost central point in world politics the last 100 years almost.
And even a central point in modern politics in the modern day too, to a point.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, it continues to affect every day, practically
Mm-hmm.
every day. It's always relevant, and it's always going to be relevant so long as the weapons exist. And you can't uninvent something, so they're going to keep existing.
So we talked about good movie. Let's bounce to a bad one that came out, the Barbie movie.
Yeah, the fact that this one did really well
Is
on the box
surprising.
office, is I think what it is and it has been for a long time, and I mean longer than we've been alive, and how longer than our parents have been alive.
Mm-hmm.
So it's been around a long time, and it's a cultural zeitgeist for people. People know Barbie; they're familiar. You say Barbie, and they know exactly what it is. Like they're not confused by what you mean.
But this
Like,
movie
no.
slaps all men in the face
Oh yes, then
in
we get to the actual.
every conceivable way, and in some inconceivable ones too.
Yeah, we get to the actual content of the matter, and we've come to realize that this movie is indeed an absolute woke pile of shit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if basically, let's put it this way: if you enjoyed this film, you absolutely are a misandrist. If you enjoyed this film,
Mm-hmm.
if you enjoyed this film in some social way, enjoying male pain, you by making fun of men, putting them down, viewing them as useless, um, and you may actually like this movie because this movie is nothing but a.
Mm-hmm.
There's no redeeming like plot either.
Fuck men, but not that way, right?
No, yeah. I mean, figuratively, it's like I don't know.
Yeah. But so the Barbie movie made a bunch of money at first, and it's not going to make anything after, right?
Sure, it has had a drop off.
Yeah.
Quite a big drop off in its
Oppenheimer's
weight.
going to make a lot of movies. There's evidently some movie theaters refunding movie tickets to The Sound of Freedom. Theaters don't, or somebody somewhere doesn't want people to go see it.
Yeah, there are many in the media that don't want people to see it, and it's frankly, it's pretty peculiar, if not suspicious, for pretty much anybody to be shitting on that movie because all the movie's really doing is depicting a real life situation involving real life victims of real life trafficking that goes on for real. So if you're mad that people are watching that, I would question why you're mad.
I would question.
Like, are you mad because people are actually catching child predators? Because that's
I would assume that they're mad because their hobby is getting a spotlight shined on it. At that point.
Their extracurricular activities are a little bit sus. Yeah.
Yeah, at that point. But
well, I mean, there's no other reason to really critique them, to criticize the concept that people would want to go see it. It's an important topic. I mean, the revelations we now have about what went on at the DHS should put everything in perspective for people. I mean,
yeah.
As it turns out, the Department of Health and Human Services has been helping traffic children. Like, that's, whether inadvertently or on purpose, that's bad. That's real bad. And if there's a spotlight being shined on the topic, yay, because frankly, it's been a scourge of mankind for decades. And it's about damn time
or longer,
like probably cut the shit and actually do something about it.
I would say probably hundreds of years, if not more.
No, I know. I'm not saying it's a new thing. Of course it is.
Yeah.
Our society has been decades.
Yeah.
In mass, in large numbers, like it is an organizational thing. It's been occurring in our country.
Yep.
And it's I mean, if anybody's noble, and in this case, I mean, what is? I mean, there's very few things in life more noble than protecting children. I mean, that's all I can say about that.
Protecting children, your country, your family, yourself.
Yeah,
your community.
I'm talking about the victims. That shit is not okay in any capacity. And people who commit those crimes, are real pieces of work, man. I'm not even sure how to sum up how I really feel about those people, but the view. You know what I'm saying?
Speaking of community, something that's really popular with the community, Mission Impossible movie starring Tom Cruise. Your thoughts?
Yeah. Oh yeah, no, this is actually a really back. Action film, 2020. Like, this is the summer block that you should want to go see. Good.
Well, I do want to see it. I also want to see The Sound of Freedom. I also want to see Oppenheimer as well. So
Yeah.
And also the next installment of Dune, when that comes out in a few months too. So
Yeah, I wonder if they're actually going to make that one a little more interesting than they did before, because that one was very dry. I mean,
well,
ironically, or whatever.
it's in the middle of a fucking desert.
No, I know. Like, shocker, Dune was a dry film. But what I mean by dry is, I mean very, very like. I, I won't say that it was on the novel because it was faithful, but I guess I just didn't expect it to be so um, uneventful. You know what I mean?
Yeah, kind of. But so yeah, so that's what we're looking forward to. That's what has sucked that has come out recently in terms of movies and whatnot. Anything involving TV that it's worth talking about, or no?
I haven't really heard too much in the TV department.
The Witcher doesn't mean anything without Henry Cavill.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I mean Netflix and things like that just kind of don't interest me in general.
Yeah, the only thing that I've generally been watching is on Pluto TV, and that's the British version of Top Gear. So, and that's old episodes from like the early to mid 2000s at that point, back when TV was a lot better.
Oh yeah, we actually forgot to mention one other one to mention going forward is Napoleon.
Oh yeah, that's right.
I personally think that one's actually going to be a big success.
And that's starring the guy that played Joker from that Joker movie.
Yeah, Joaquin Phoenix. Many are familiar. Yeah, it's another biopic about Napoleon. Now, obviously, people from earlier generations of Americans would remember several different films that have been made by Hollywood about Napoleon. Like, it's this spot. Many movies have been made about Napoleon. But I think with Joaquin Phoenix and driver's seat playing Napoleon, this could get really good. I mean, obviously he's a talented actor. Obviously he has some range. And I think pretty much everybody was, not everybody, but a lot of us were satisfied with his portrayal in the Joker. So there's a lot of, he's one of the better actors in Hollywood, frankly. But yeah, it'll be an interesting release, and we'll see what they do with that. Interested.
Yep.
But yeah, that was kind of the only other one I was going to mention, other than obviously all the other stuff that has already come out. But yeah, after that, next year is going to be pretty thin with the way things are going with Hollywood. They're not producing much right now.
Yeah, just checking my messages to see. Yeah, I know I'm live. Thanks for the email, YouTube. Idiots. As I was saying, check the messages to see what else we were talking about that we wanted to talk about here on the stream. Yeah, we talked about the refunding of tickets to see The Sound of Freedom. Oh, Snoop Dogg doing music, I guess, for Call of Duty.
Yeah, but as you know, Call of Duty pretty. Um,
as
but
well
it's
as well as Nicki Minaj, apparently, according to Joshy.
sure, yeah, they're gonna have her in there too. Um, but yeah, they hurt themselves pretty badly with a lot of the gamer community with the ban of the guy that was saying he just wanted the children to be protected, and they banned him. It's like, what the fuck does Call of Duty stand for? Honestly, what does Activision stand for?
We got a chat
Like,
from Bubble One
they're
here. Let me read this quickly. Let collapse. They're a bunch of something word plus that
mhm.
keep that keep that keep. Okay, I'm just gonna read that as they. Plus, they keep remaking movies, sequels, some storylines, plus being greedy evil behind closed doors. Yes, absolutely, Bubba. Could not have said it any better myself, Nord.
Yeah, I just take James Woods' word for it. That James Woods said far worse than you can even imagine. So I just take his word for it.
Yep. So thank you, Bubble One, for the chat in the chat there. I appreciate you. But Nicki Minaj and Snoop Dogg in Call of Duty. Yay.
Well, I don't know if they really
Yay. What?
put them as character with music for Call of Duty.
I don't know if it's music or characters. Josh, you didn't specify.
If it's character,
That would be
then
really
that's really
stupid.
stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really stupid.
If
If it's
it's
character.
if it's music, that's also really stupid.
Well, I don't know. I mean, like again, the direction that Call of Duty's been going lately,
Has
I
not
just man, I
has
can't
not
follow it
been
anymore.
has not been the direction that we have played Call of Duty in the past. Like Red Hood in the chat says they are playable characters. Well, fuck me.
Alrighty, well there you go.
Well, that's the death of Call of Duty if it wasn't dead already. So let's see. Also, I got here ESRB proposes mandatory facial scanning to play the games that you own. Hey, hey, ESRB, go fuck yourself.
Yeah, well.
I got you, Bubba. The P word, got it. You are not wrong about Hollywood there.
That's precisely why they were pissed
At the Sound of
off
Freedom.
about the Sound of Freedom doing.
Yes, exactly.
Hitting them in their weekend fun a little too hard.
Let's see. Do we have anything else? Most of this is just Joshy flipping out on social media. But yeah, that's all I had from what I knew that we were gonna wanting to talk about and whatnot. Red Hood says in the chat, they are skins if I'm not mistaken. Oh, good. Some Nicki Minaj skin. Like we haven't had enough of that lately.
So I guess they're basically trying to make Call of Duty into Fortnite. Yeah, good rate.
I've never liked Fortnite either, so. And as I was saying, the last Call of Duty that I genuinely liked the most was probably World at War. And that's going back a long time then. That's going back to the Xbox 360 days.
Yeah, I think they lost me somewhere around Ghosts.
Probably They probably lost you with Call of Duty Ghosts then.
Yeah, after that, definitely. So I like MW3, and obviously Modern Warfare 2 was one of the best games of all time. So I mean, it wasn't too long ago they were at their absolute talent peak, but right now it's pretty shitty.
In the chat, we got Red Hood. If it makes it any better, the Nicki Minaj skin doesn't even look like her. Then who the fuck does it look like?
It looks like Jinx from Pokemon.
Oh, fuck. Well, then Call of Duty would be putting a blackface character in at that point. I'm just saying.
I'm like, wait a second. That's because Nikki looks like Jinx from Pokemon.
And then Bubba in the chat says Call of Duty Black Ops 2 and Modern Warfare 3 were my thing on PS3 era, which is also the 360 era too for Xbox. So that's the same generation at that point. But I do remember playing Modern Warfare 3, and that was pretty good on the Xbox as well. So, anything you want to bring up that we haven't talked about, bro?
Well, no. I mean, it was just we were going to discuss the summer movies and Hollywood's current status as very fucked.
Well, very fucked would be a vast improvement. Hence, the thumbnail is the Hollywood sign burning, which is an homage to things that Gary and Perry Chan have done for Friday Night Tights. So, shout out to Nerdrotic, Friday Night Tights, and Perry Chan. We're big fans of those guys. So, hey, gaming. Gaming's in the chat. Anything else that's bothering you lately, bro?
Oh, no. I mean, like I said, we sort of covered most of what has been caught my attention lately.
And I wanted to talk about what Joshy wanted to do. Hopefully he would have been here for it, because that would have made it more entertaining. To just get off the railroad tracks and put him on the tracks and just let him go at that point.
Yeah, he probably has a bit of a rant.
A bit of a rant? That's mostly what Joshy does. He's our rant machine.
Well, he doesn't always do that. Sometimes he doesn't say anything.
That's true. Sometimes he falls asleep on stream. We love you, Joshy. But on that note, do you have you did a meme not too long ago on your channel, right?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, it was a couple weeks ago.
What was the meme about?
Oh, well, that was okay. So let me set a sort of town hall style interview. Just like with an audience. Mike Pence by Tucker Carlson. Tucker Carlson was the interviewer. And Mike Pence. And at one point, Tucker was bringing up, because Mike Pence is running for president, right? He's running to try and primary Donald Trump, basically.
Trying.
But anyway, Tucker brought up how things are going in the United States, and crime and violence and things not being so good
economically. Yeah.
And he was also comparing it to how much funding the war in Ukraine and how concerned they seem to be about foreign affairs, but how little concern they seem to have about domestic affairs. And Mike Pence pushed back on a very easy question, because Mike Pence could have easily waffled on that question and just been like, well, I have to balance, domestic affairs with foreign affairs and try to make sure that everyone is kept safe and all this other stuff. He could have said a lot of that. You know, and
which
people would have been like, yeah, whatever, blah, blah, blah.
which would have been a very logical response.
Or it would have been this, safe, basically, typical Mike response. But no, he decided to basically, well, I described it as he jammed his whole entire body up his entire ass by saying that what's going on in the United States. And frankly, it's jaw dropping that he would fucking say that shit.
Yeah.
Because, like, dude, you weren't running for president of Ukraine. You're running for president of the U.S.
And
who the fuck are you trying to impress?
And the chat is cry laughing now.
Yeah. Well, anyway,
at that comparison.
So my aim was that is not my concern, and turn that into a running gag, basically, of things that he should definitely. That's what the meme was.
So if you don't mind, and Chad, if you're cool with it, I got Nord's channel up on the screen right here. Chat, do you guys want to check out Desert Nord's meme that he made of Mike Pence? If you do, just say yes in the chat at that point. Are you cool with us checking it out right here on the stream, bro?
Sure, of course.
Red Hood says yes, and I'm not seeing any no's. Gaming is thinking. Well, what a surprise. You know what? I didn't get a no, so. Do me a favor, guys. Go hit up Desert Nord on YouTube. Go drop a like on it if you like what you see here, and go subscribe to Desert Nord because he also did Nancy Pelosi Taiwan visit meme. He did a meme about January 6th and a whole host of memes about Joe Biden. So you guys know where Nord stands on things.
Sure.
At that point.
As well as the channel would already. Yeah.
Yeah, so without any further ado, we're going to check out what Nord has recently done on his channel.
That's not my concern.
The opioid epidemic has reached historic levels across the United States.
That's not my concern.
Third world style poverty in our first world country.
That's not my concern.
Eviction filing rates are soaring.
That's not my concern.
Retail thefts here in the city are skyrocketing. We've all seen the video.
That's not my concern.
Packs of stray dogs that control most of the major cities in North America.
That's not my concern.
I'm gonna come.
That's not my concern. That's not my concern.
Within a week, the skies will be dark with dust from the impact, and they will stay dark for 2 years. All plant life will be dead within 4 weeks. Animal life within a few months.
That's not my concern.
We all gonna die.
That's not my concern.
Yeah, but what got me the most was Trump saying, "I'm gonna come," and Pike and Mike Pike, yeah, Mike Pence going, "That's not my concern." It's not his concern that Trump is gonna come. Well, yeah. In the chat, what did you guys think? If you guys could hear it or not. If not, let's see. Red Hood's laughing their ass off and clapping like hell. So Red Hood's a big fan of that. As I said before, go check out Desert Nord. He has a channel on YouTube. That's generally what he does. Personally, my favorite is his Let's Go Brandon meme, which got 101,000 views, which is his biggest video ever.
Yeah.
But personally, my favorite is him making fun of my piloting abilities in a Star Wars game.
Yeah. You were playing Squadrons, I think.
Hey, Fel, thanks for popping in. He says, "Hail and what's up, and what's up, Drew?" Hey, Fel, not much. We're just bullshitting around right now because we got done talking about the dumpster fire and the clusterfuck that is the situation that Hollywood finds itself in these days. If you want to catch what we said earlier, you can watch the replay because this is staying up on YouTube in its entirety for as long as YouTube allows it to stay up, given what we said.
Yeah.
But then again, we generally fly under the radar here, so I don't expect it to get taken down at this point. I'd be surprised. But yeah, as I said, my favorite is the DDG Star Wars ID4 pilot meme, in which I crashed into the back of another starship flying a TIE fighter in Star Wars Squadrons, and Nord made a meme about it.
Mm-hmm.
Which I love people joking about me. So, but then again, that's nothing new. I'm Desert Nord's older brother, so I have to just deal with it. So on that note, anything else we got before we get out of here?
No, I don't think anything else is relevant that we haven't touched on.
Yep. Thanks, gaming. Hollywood is a dumpster fire, and we all know and hate. Yes, exactly, Fel.
Mm-hmm.
So on that note, after this, Mom and I are going to go jump in the pool. If there's any time, or if I have any after that, I may attempt to try to get a quick stream out on Twitch. We'll see what kind of energy I have after I get done in the pool and whatnot. But I'm not going to make any promises to that. Otherwise, stay tuned for next weekend. I'll for sure be able to get a stream out then, because I'm not planning one of these for some time again. We just had to talk about Hollywood given the strike and everything else going on. So,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's been a lot of activity lately.
yeah, so we had to say something, especially my favorite moment of the last couple of weeks was on Friday Night Tights, in which they were talking about this Hollywood business that we were just talking about, and the collapse of Hollywood. And as soon as Jeremy says collapse of Hollywood, Odin's bookshelf falls over with all of his Hollywood movies in it on Friday Night Tights.
Mm-hmm.
Showing two things. One, God is not a fan of Hollywood, obviously, at this point, right?
Yeah,
And
not
two,
close.
well, no, I take it back. Three things. God is not a fan of Hollywood. God clearly has a sense of humor, and he's got great comedic timing. So there you go. As proven on Friday Night Tights a little over a week ago now, God isn't a fan of Hollywood either. So on that bombshell, we will leave you guys with that. Any last minute parting thoughts, bro?
Oh no. I think I've said everything I need to say.
That's an interesting thought, Fel. Fel says in the chat, that's because all of the great Hollywood film stars are in heaven now. You are welcome, Red Hood. We will stay as safe as we can. We are in Arizona, so you know what that means. It's hot as fuck around here, but
I haven't had it in a long time. So
But on that note, usually I would say fuck Joe Biden to end these things, right?
yeah, something like that.
But given recent developments in the world. I will leave you guys with this, especially with my last reaction that I did on Friday from Tom McDonald. When we pull up, all you're going to see is American flags. Anything you want to add, bro?
No, I would just say that there are some have been unfortunate, but I do hope people. I do hope as many people as possible will get to see the Sound of Freedom, because that movie actually has an important message.
Yes, it
Now, if you care
does.
about children in this world, then you should care about that film.
Yeah. Either way, as I said, when we go live, all you'll get is American flags. And Joshy would say, "Let's go, Brandon," if he were here, as he always does.
Yeah, we'll just say down with Hollywood, you know?
Down with Hollywood works for me. We'll see.
Stop. Yeah.
I'll see you guys next weekend over on Twitch. Later, guys.
Yep. See you guys.